I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be pissed that he didn't get any. Well, this particular email is from a guy who went out on a couple dates with a girl, and he's all bent out of shape and pissed off that he didn't get any pussy. He didn't get laid. He's mad, he's upset about it, and he writes me with a couple of questions. And one of the things that I want to say right off the bat is that when it comes to approaching seducing women and dating them and getting them to go along with what it is that you want, you really have to detach from your outcome. In other words, you have to stop worrying about where it's going to go, if you're going to get laid or if you're not, if she's going to kiss you or if she's not going to kiss you. You have to not worry about those things. The only thing that you need to concentrate on is just having a great time, making her laugh, talking to her, getting to know her, making sure she's doing 70 to 80% of the talking by asking questions, looking for signs like her twirling her hair around her finger, or running her hands through her hair, or reaching over and touching you, or bumping into you as you're walking along. You're going to be looking for all these little subtle things when you're on a date. But if you're all focused on getting back to her place, what time you're going to get back there, when you're going to be able to perform, I mean, it's just, what happens is it gets in the way of you just going with the flow and having a good time. And the woman is able to recognize in your body language and your physiology that you're not being authentic and you're not being congruent and you're acting unnatural. And when you do that, it causes a woman to feel not as safe and as comfortable. And this is something that's essential for a woman to open up to receive you, is she's got to feel safe and comfortable. And if you're not acting authentic because you're focused on what's going to happen later, or if you're going to get laid later, what happens is you're not able to live and be present in the moment. And so she could tell that you're constantly thinking about what you're going to say next and what you're going to do next. And it's just weird. It creates a weird, awkward, creepy kind of vibe that's going to cause any woman to shut down and back away from you. So he says, "Hey, Coach Corey, I want to thank you for all the high-quality videos and articles you put out on the internet for free. I found them very practically minded and easily applicable when it appeals to a logical guy like me." Well, thank you. He says, "Anyway, I was wondering how you'd assess my situation. I'm 19 and met an 18-year-old girl at a party a year ago. Since I go to college out of state, I've only been able to meet up with her to hang out twice since then. This past weekend we hung out, and I think she had a fun time. But at the end, I sort of blew her off by not walking her to her car since I was a little pissed I didn't get any. I didn't know if I didn't try to escalate too directly." He says, "Later that night, I felt so bad, I texted her saying, hey, I got a text bearing some bad news while we were in the lot, so sorry if I seemed a little distant. I had a grand time kicking it with you, and we should hang out when you're back from your travels." And she replied saying, "No, you were totally fine. If you need someone to talk to about your news, I'm here, so I will definitely let you know when I'm back." And I would say that the first thing you fucked up is not walking into her car. It's like, you could have kissed her. You never know. It's like you're being upset. James Bond never worries about whether or not he's going to get laid. He always thinks from the end. It's in the fucking bag. Why? Because it's what always happens when he gets together with women. And so if it's not happening as fast as you want it to, you got to be okay with it taking its time. Because the reason it's taking its time for it to happen is that you're not being authentic in the interaction. And you know this. That's why you texted her later, because you knew that you put out an energy that was the wrong kind of energy. And whereas if you'd just walked her to her car and gone for the kiss and made out with her instead of just being like, hey, see you later, because you're all pissed off, I mean, it's the wrong kind of vibe. You should have an attitude of, hey, it'll happen when it happens. It's not a big deal. The attitude is you got to have a take it or leave it attitude. You'd love to have it, but you can also do without it, and you're just as happy without having it as you are with you having it. Does that make sense? So he says, my two main questions are, was it bad form to text her after the date, and does it seem like I friend-zoned myself? Well, I will say that you were inauthentic on the date. You weren't being yourself because you were too worried about whether or not you were going to get laid, or you're bent out of shape that you weren't getting laid that night. And that just creates problems going forward. It creates awkward, because if you'd been cool about it and you'd have walked out to her car, maybe you'd been making out, and you would have gotten really passionate, really heated, and you would have said, hey, you want to come back to my place for a nightcap? And she could have followed you back to your place, or she should have said, well, hey, why don't you come to mine? Or she could have said no. Either way, you're like, cool, well, maybe next time. Either way, you leave the door open. You don't slam the door in her face. That's basically what you did, was you kind of slammed her door in her face. It's like you're fucking pouting like a little boy going, I'm taking my toys and I'm not going home. You wouldn't let me sleep with you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And the second question is, should I have tried harder to escalate while we were hanging out? And if so, how? We were talking and laughing a lot, but I just didn't know how to take it a step further and was kind of afraid she wouldn't react to it well. See, you were afraid to go for the kiss, and you're all bent out of shape that nothing happened, when it's really your fault for not going for the kiss because you didn't know. You got intimidated and you didn't go for it. Now you've gone on a couple dates with this girl and you don't even know if she really likes you or not. The idea is you want to find out. That's why you go for the kiss, and that's why you would have walked her to her car and gone for the kiss like I teach, and it's the best way to go. And if you're unsure in the moment, the best approach is to take is while you're talking and you're standing close to one another. It's like as you're walking along, is she bumping into you? I mean, have you read my book? That's one thing I want to know, because I don't think you've read my book, because it tells me that you're really not sure where you stand with her, and you gotta download the book. You can go to any page of my website, and in the right hand margin there's a link for the Kindle, and you can download. It takes 60 seconds to download on your Kindle, your iPad, any electronic device, any smartphone, computer, PC, Mac. You can They got a free app that you can download, and you read it on any of your devices. So if you're reading on your phone and you get home, you can go right to your computer, log into your Kindle, and it's right on the same page that you were at before. You can highlight things. It's an awesome app. You got to download it. Like I said, it takes 60 seconds. So if you got a question that you want to ask me, you can go to my website and click on any page, understandingrelationships.com. Click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen. If you got a question you want to ask, or there's specific challenges or a topic you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, just send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and you got to give me several days to get back to you with a response, because I get a lot of email from the internet. And I also get a lot of it from my paying phone coaching customers, but be patient and I will get back to you. If you want to talk to me right away to help you with a specific challenge or situation that you're having, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session, and you can do that by clicking the Products tab, which is at the top of your screen on any page of my website, and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.